there is no room left for confusion. And again, I'll repeat, enlightenment is not our word. We don't use that. We have a word which can be like sthita pragya, meaning established in that pure knowledge. We have word self-realization. We have word atmanishta. We have word brahmanabhuti or brahmanishta. But we don't have word the enlightenment. It comes more closer to the Buddhist theology. But sometimes the Western writers and the speakers are using these words, and this becomes like a big thing. I always end up saying this. One time I was in Denmark. So the person who had visited me here, he invited me to come to their ashram. So I was very intrigued to go and see this ashram in Denmark. And I go there, and there were some like 50 men and women. And they all were speaking this one word, oh, so enlightened. And I am so enlightened. And you are enlightened. And we are all enlightened. They had this word. And they had actually made some very beautiful pictures and artwork and portraits where they depict that somebody who, is like a wave getting connected from the brain to the heavens. And from the heavens, the light is falling onto the head of the person, and from head to the heart, and from heart to all the Muladhara chakras and other chakras. And the chakras open up, and my all chakras are wakened up, and I am enlightened. And I was like, oh, wow, that was quite an experience. And we had quite a laugh over there because there was nobody who was unenlightened, and everybody was enlightened over there. So somehow there's a misusage of this word. Big time, big time. We say realization of who I am and realization of what God is. And the Sanātana Dharma is the only one Dharma which gives you this freedom, which gives you this choice to question who is God, what is God, and who defines and who opens up this whole path for you to think, to challenge, to question, to doubt, and especially like the beautiful Upanishad called Prashna Upanishad. Prashna Upanishad is a conversation of 6 disciples with the Guru. So they come up with their questions. And the story says when they go to the Guru says, you'll have to be with me for 1 year. And after 1 year, I permit you to ask the question. And maybe if I know the answer, I'll answer. He's not giving any guarantee that he will. So they stay there for 1 year. Because Guru wanted to check what kind of lifestyle they have. Are they meditators, or they are just goofing around? Are they rajasic or quiet, silence, disciplined people? So after 1 year, Guru said, okay, now ask. So one by one, all these 6 aspirants are asking questions. And Guru is answering beautifully. And this is Prashna Upanishad. So all our Upanishads, beginning from Kathopanishad to Kena Upanishad, it's all dialogue which is happening in between the Guru and the seeker. So this conversation, this dialogue opens up the mind, the brain, the understanding of the person, and then Guru provides the tools and the methodology for the aspirant to prepare himself or herself to be eligible to understand what Guru is going to say. Because, like, if you haven't done your B.Tech, you cannot do M.Tech. If you haven't done M.Tech, you cannot do PhD. And you haven't even done if the 8th standard, then forget about doing B.Tech. So there's a system. So Bharat gave this system of knowledge. And in this system of knowledge, there is a place for God, Sargun, with the form, God which is formless. And It's not like imagination or assumptions or, Alice in the Wonderland type of the thing. It's not like that. It's like something which is very relatable. And whether it is Kabir Sahib or Guru Nanak or Dadu Sahib, all these great gurus of the Sant Parampara are Nirguni Sant, meaning formless. But yet, Guru Nanak is talking about life and incidents of Sri Krishna and Sri Rama. There is a beautiful text called Sukhmani Sahib of Sikhism. And in Sukhmani, the fifth Guru, Arjan Dev, says, Sargun aap nirgun bhi ohi kala tar jin sagli mohi. The one who is Sargun is the Nirgun. And this is like the divine game, the divine Leela which is being done. And so you have to rise above these limitations. Because mind is limited, brain is limited, hence we have these limited ideas even about God. It's like imagination. God might be this, God might be that. So all those, when they say, I believe in a formless God, the question is, if the God is formless, then how do you know this God is God? Are you getting what I'm saying? When you say air, then there is a chemical formula about which you use and then you understand then what it is. So when you say God is formless, then how in the first time you came to know about such existence which is formless and you came to know about that? Because through our senses, we know about the world through the very limited windows of, like through eyes you can see color alone. With ears you just can hear sound alone. Through nose you can just smell. Through tongue you can only taste. With the skin you can only touch. And you have the only 5 senses of knowledge. You don't have a 6th one. So when someone says God is formless, so then you have to agree that there is no word which can sufficiently explain God. Because even the word God is not God. And if you say the word God is God, then you have made God a word. And word is part of the elemental word. The sound is part of the elemental word, which is heard by your ears. And if somebody is deaf, and cannot hear the sound, cannot hear the word, God. So who is your God? Let me say, Sanātana Dharma is not religion of faith. It is a religion of introspection, knowledge, knowing, direct encounter. It's not about believing. It's about exploring. Those who say believe or you will go to hell, know this, they have nothing to do with Sanātana Dharma. And Sanātana word means the eternal. Truth is that, eternal. Truth doesn't change, but everything else does. So going into the depth of the fundamentals of what truth is, or should I say what you are. So this kind of listening, this kind of scriptural listening to the discourses lead one to the point where God doesn't remain something in which you believe in. Then ultimately you come to a point where God is your experience. Nothing to do with belief. And belief is happening in the limited boundaries of the mind. And the scripture says that God is beyond the understanding of the mind. And then how will we understand God? Strange. So the scripture gives the answer. And very systematically. Very methodologically. So I'll suggest, taking up Bhagavad Gita and go into it, and please, at least what I have already spoken about, use those scriptures to elevate your understanding. In last, I would say, You have a male body and you are in the body. Body has a form and you don't have. And even in between you and the body there is mind. And mind again is formless. There is no form, there is no picture of. Can you take selfie of your mind? No, we cannot. So our thoughts, our emotions in the mind, our determinations and our resolves in the intellect, it's all formless. And the core of the Bhagavad Gita's message is that you are the formless, yourself. And yet you have a body. But this body isn't going to define you. But yet you use this body to live in this world. Use the five senses, use the mind, use the intellect, use the subconscious, use the ego. When you say, oh yes, I have understood this. You're nodding this, yes and yes. This is the ego which is saying, yes, I have understood it. Ego over here in context to the mind is not the ego which you generally use. Over here, ahamkara. Ahamkara means that I have extended my knowing. Aham means me. Akara means giving shape. So when you give shape to your understandings, hence you say, I have understood this. So this is ahankara. It's not the ego. It's not the ego one. It's different. So the mind, the ego, the intellect, and the subconscious. These are the four faculties which you have. And four of them are formless. So are your senses formless. What you touch is the eyelid. It's not eye. The eyesight is the power with which you are seeing through this. So we call that as the sense organ of seeing. And so goes for hearing, and so goes for smelling, and so goes for the tasting, so goes for your hands and feet. These are the senses of action. So the meticulous detail about who you are, first you need to address that. And there is one book of mine, it's called Atma Bodh. Who am I? Maybe go with that first. Once you have done that, then go for Bhagavad Gita. And yes, side by side, you need to, what I was mentioning that day about the sadhana of doing the Nishkriya Dhyana or doing pranava, simultaneous, these exercises, these internalization methods to make your mind calm and quiet and serene and gives you the eligibility to understand all this stuff which is going to be really challenging, really, really challenging. So, a mind which is not agitated is eligible for understanding this Vedantic knowledge. And like this body is there, but I am formless. Like Guruji gave a beautiful discourse for good 2 hours. And the disciple just walked away. And Guru had to yell, come beta, prepare some food for me, I'm hungry. He said, Guruji, Shivoham. Manobuddhya ahankara chittani naham. You said that you are not body, you are not mind, you are not senses. So who is hungry? Guru said, yeah, sure. Now you have become Jnani in one day. Eh? Guru said, okay, just before leaving, you should do the pranam. Come and do the pranam and then you may go. So he comes to do his pranam and he bows and puts his head down onto the ground. And then Guru gave some powerful prasad, at his back, gave a thumping punch. And he started yelling and crying and he said, what is this? Why are you beating me up? I am in so much pain. Guru said, pain? You are not a body. Manobuddhya ahankara chittani naham. You are not a body. Where is the pain? If there is a pain, then show me the pain. So how can I show you the pain? It's not physical, it's not gross. The Guru said, okay, my dear, so is my hunger not gross. Yeah? So it was your job that you should take care of my body so that it is well fed, rested, healthy, so that tomorrow again I can sit and yap, yap, yap to you, speak to you and answer all your questions. You just can't walk away by saying, okay, Shiva, what about food and seva and why should I do it? No, that's not how the things are. So in ancient days, any seeker who would go to a Mahatma to seek higher knowledge, the Guru would put a lot of testing first. So for years they are serving the master, they're brooming, cooking, fetching water, and doing whatever the Guru says. They're doing all kinds of seva, menial jobs, nothing is big or small. And doing the pranayams and yoga and preparing their mind and body while serving the master, so that one day the Guru is kind enough to give that understanding and intelligence to the seeker. So we are formless and yet we have body. So you can't say that form and the formless are like antagonists to one another. No, they are not diametrically opposite to one another. Very nicely, you are in this body. And one day this body was not there, and one day this body will be again gone. But you will be still here very much. But because of the incomplete journey, a new life, a new body will be given. And then again you have, I was just reading one of email which I received from England. This lady says that her 5-year-old son started talking about a woman who died at age of 104, and he was saying that she was my friend and I miss her. What are you saying?